On this episode, we ride a technology wave to Florida and chat with a twin that is one of 9 siblings. My guest is Omanzo, and as one of 9 and a twin, he knows what it's like to share everything, even down to splitting a single pencil to complete his school supplies list. Omanzo, a Jay Shetty-certified coach and author of the book The Choice, might seem at a disadvantage growing up as a twin in a large family. However, this experience gave him a built-in best friend, business partner, and a walking journal. We also talk about, of course I had to ask, where, when, and how many times did he and his brother switch places? Let's jump in.
Were you born and raised in the United States, or have you always lived in the United States this whole time?
No, I was born and raised in Jamaica. I came here in 2018. So most of my childhood is in Jamaica. Most of my life is in
Jamaica. And you're one of 7 kids?
One of 9 kids.
You're 7 of 9.
Oh yeah, 7 of 9. Yeah, 7 of 9. Yeah.
Okay, so what have you learned inside your family that has helped you be a coach?
I think
I gotta think. Look, it's gotta, at a minimum, it's gotta tell you how to deal with people, right?
Yeah, literally. Because like being from a huge family, a big family, right? Like that. We have to basically learn how to get along with all of us being in the same space. So they, of course, it really teach me how to deal with people, of course, and to really understand that each person are unique in their own ways. Each person are different, and it also teach us how to work together to actually accomplish certain things. So being in that huge family settings, as teach me to be able to actually meet people where they are. People are different, and help us to actually work together to achieve different things. So I didn't even think about it until you asked questions. I was like, wow, really? It does actually start from that grassroots to bring us to be where I'm at right now.
Wait, hang on. So you said you have a twin brother?
I'm a twin, yeah.
Okay, and so how do you know you're not? Are they 6 and 7? What is it, 7 and 8? Which is
all right, yes.
7 and 8?
I'm 7. So I'm 7. He's 8.
Why is he 8?
I was born first. I was born 10 minutes before him. So technically speaking, I'm actually his older brother. We're twins, but I'm the older brother, technically speaking.
What's it like being a twin in a big family? Are there any other twins, or there's everybody else?
Everybody is just single. We're the only twins. Being a twin, you're the center of attention. That's the good side. And the bad side, you guys are always wrong.
Oh, together.
Yes. So on the good side, we're the center of attention. On the bad side, everything that's wrong is us.
Yeah. So, but what's it like? What's the dynamic of being like? It's almost like you have this person you're attached to. That's what you're saying, right? So there's this person that you're attached to, but you're inside this larger family. It's not like it's just you and him. It's you and him plus 7 other people.
Yep.
Right. So what is it like being a twin in a big family?
It works because, and it's weird. Like when I think about my brother, I think about him. He's the first person that comes to mind. Even though I have 5 brothers, when someone says your brother, the first thing that comes to mind is my twin brother. I don't necessarily think about our brothers. And it's crazy, like growing up. So for example, my older sibling might say, do this for your brother. I'll be thinking on one person, not thinking about other 4 persons. I'm only thinking about that one brother. So being in a large family, being a twin, it gave me a sense of, belonging. There's someone who understands me. We grow together, right?
Right.
We sense we can finish your sentences. So there was like a sub community, a sub family in the legal family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You and your brother had a totally different experience than everybody else in your family because you always had somebody on your side. Always.
Literally, always. And it's tricky you say that, right? Because like as twins, you'll expect twins will grow where they're always close. We're always close. But when we were younger, we used to fight a lot. We used to fight a lot. But the thing is, we fight against each other, but together, we fight together. So for example, if say, someone tried to pick a fight with my brother, I'm going to get involved, and vice versa. So we're gonna fight each other, but if someone comes into that fight, together we'll team up and fight that person.
Okay. Okay. This is going to be I've never thought of this before. I started thinking about, I have a brother, but I mean, we're not twins and we're not in a big family, but it's just me and him, right? But
Yeah.
that fight, does that fighting create a bond that you kind of can't get anywhere else? Do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ultimately it's like y'all are testing each other. And then when the tests are over with each other, you're like, okay, well now we're ready together to test. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. I wouldn't say that, like thinking about it, I wouldn't say that. Yes, I'm that when we're younger, as siblings growing up, we just certain things we just like fight for. Like, for example, we'll fight for who should get the top part of the pencil and not the
Right.
bottom part of the pencil. Which is so because we're twins. So a pencil is cut in two. So I used to fight that this is my pencil. Or if, say, for example, I cannot find a book, I said this is my book. So we're fighting for the same things. That's all we used to fight. But then if, say, someone else were to try to fight one of us, then together we team up. So I wouldn't say it's bring us together in that sense. We're just fighting basically for our own identity in that sense. But as we get older, the other fighting just kind of just wither away, and we get so close. He's like my best friend. He's my business partner. He's that person who knows me and can continue my life if I were to die today, and vice versa.
Have you ever thought of this that, part of being a coach
Mm-hmm.
is getting your client to fight for themselves, fight for their identity, fight for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you and your brother gave that to each other, that fight, right? And now you're like, okay, I want to teach others how to fight for their identity, fight for what they want. You know what I mean? And you
Mm-hmm.
can now do that because you've kind of done that for yourself. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Like you're connecting some dots that I didn't even aware that was there. And it makes sense. Because like even even listening to you and really like thinking back, really and truly in our household amongst all of us, like me, my brother and I, we are the most ambitious. And we always stop to think like, what's the cause of that? But what happens is that we're always communicating, we're always bouncing ideas on each other for the most part. So we're always challenging each other to be better. So we're always competing amongst each other. So that really and truly, when you think about it, has played actually a big role in where we are in compared to other siblings.
Do you think that that competitiveness, it originally came from one of y'all trying to get on top of each other? You know what I mean? That competitiveness, right? But it turned into more of like y'all pushing each other up, right? Like more
Okay.
like let's push each other up. But you don't get, I don't know, do you get to the second part without the first part, is what I'm saying. Do you have to go through that transformation of kind of being competitive and understand really what it means to be competitive as a teammate, not a competitor, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
teammates compete against each other, it's to make each other better. When
Yeah.
competitors compete, it's to get on top, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't what do you think? Do you think that you get to that without that competitive thing that y'all had? Because you said your siblings don't have it, right?
Yeah, yeah, they don't have it. Yeah. So I think, initially in the beginning, we were competing as competitors, but as we get older, right, we become more like collaborators. Together, we achieve more together. But
Right.
we had to go through that, competing to like kind of figure out, our own identity. Even though we're similar in many ways, to create our own identity, we have to keep on competing. And like, for example, he was valedictorian for his high school. I wasn't, right? So when it came to college, I went hard in college because I wanted to like say, catch up per se. So we're always, in that, yin and yang. But after all is dusted and done and dusted, then we come together and we just we're like a mastermind alliance.
Yeah.
So that mastermind alliance, we are able to just bounce ideas and be able to like figure things out. Even for example, with the coaching business, the logo that I decided on is the graphic person. I'm like, I want this. And it's like, sure. I just designed it. I didn't have to go any extra to someone explaining because like he knows what I'm talking about. But I do not design. He does the designing. So I said, okay, good, I need this logo. I just go on the computer, create it, send it to me, and I didn't have to do any adjustments. It was just spot on.
Have y'all ever broken each other's trust?
um, Broken. I think no, I know of. Probably, probably like when we were kids, but as like teenagers getting older, now we're just like that kind of knit. And I don't think anything can come between us because we're like people, the world, our siblings, see us as one person. So that's how we operate as one.
Is that ever uncomfortable? Like, is it ever not okay? Like, is there ever a time where you go, man, I wish there was just one of me?
I think when I was younger, like extremely younger, like I said, for example, we're fighting for the pencil. Because like as a twin growing up, everything we were going back, right? I was from a very poor background, very poor background. And worse when you're a twin, everything is has to be shared between you and your twin, literally. So instead of getting a single pencil for yourself, you're getting a pencil cut in two. So at one point, I won't have the rubber or the eraser and the pencil. I have the other part of the pencil. So at that point, I was like, I wish it was only me alone, you know.
Hmm.
So, but no, when I get older now, and like the thing that we achieved together, I wouldn't change being a twin. If I wasn't a twin, I wouldn't have mastered that if I wasn't a twin. Because that we're always talking, we're always communicating, we're always bouncing ideas of each other. We don't even know we're bouncing of each other. And we just come together where it works. So that's a question. In the beginning, I hated it. But as I get older, I cherish it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Being born a twin is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay, so like, you know, um, as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
the things that are holding us back are ourselves, right? And there's kind of, I mean, am I wrong to say that, like, you kind of went through this trial by fire with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that forged this really unbreakable bond and trust. And then, think about how many people never get that support. And so then maybe they don't realize their dreams, or they don't extend themselves as far as they need to, because like the 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 obstacle feels too big, but you've been climbing the obstacle your whole life. You know what I
Life.
mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it is the example of, like, if you want something, put intention towards it and work towards it, and you can achieve it. It might not be on your timeline, but like you got this like incredible lesson, and so did he, by the way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is like, you know, and the better part is that you embraced it, because there's got to be like twins out there that go, man, I hate my twin, or I'm tired of, you know, there has to be people that don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you embraced it. Y'all both challenge each other. Y'all rose above that stuff, and that's just, I mean, that's just really great, and like
yeah,
a really big metaphor for just like your basic life. You just kind of lived it in a more intense way, you know?
yeah. It's interesting you said that, because like going back to like when we were younger, we didn't like it. Motherfucker, we didn't like the idea of being together. So we want a chance we could actually not be in the same space. We take it. For example, in Jamaica we call it primary school. In the States, we'll say it's elementary school. So in elementary school, when we were on like say grade 3, we could have separate classes. So I was in a different class, he was also in a different class. So what was happening during those classes, we were learning two different things, but when we're going home, walking home, we're always talking about those things. So what happened is that when we're talking about certain stuff, when we go to the classroom now and the topic is being introduced, I've already actually learned already that topic, because he already told me everything about it already. For example, in high school, we went to two different high schools, right? Separate high schools we went to. So I remember Pythagoras theorem, right? He was the one who like taught me the entire process of Pythagoras theorem. So when they was actually teaching actually in my school, I knew exactly what everything is already. My entire class was blank. So I appeared to be bright or brilliant. It wasn't being brilliant. It was because my brother did it before and he talked to me about it. And I was like, interesting. And it's vice versa. So even with chemistry, I learned the periodic table before everyone in my classroom because my brother learned it a year before.
But see, you know, I've never thought about this, but
Mhm.
I would assume in the United States that most twins go to the same school and then are the same classes. Do you think okay, so there's your childhood, right? And y'all
Mhm.
kind of like being competitive, like butting heads.
Yeah.
And then y'all are separated. And this person
Mhm.
that you've been with that like whole time that you've been butting heads with, but then
Mhm.
when y'all go to these different schools, you're exactly right. It's like there's two brains, because he's coming home and he's telling you what he learned, and you're telling him what you learned, and you're telling your interpretation, and he's telling you his interpretation. And so you're always learning you're learning two times as fast. And that was simply because why did y'all go to separate schools? Did your parents decide that?
So what happened in Jamaica? There's a test that we basically do. So then based on what grade you get, you're placed in that school. So it's like say we leave elementary school to high school, you do a test. So
Mhm.
what happened that the test that I did, I got a higher mark than what he got. So I was placed in a particular school while he placed in a different school. So that's what caused us to be separated, which
That's
worked. And it wasn't a good feeling in at that point in time. Being like 11 wasn't a good feeling. But looking back, it was the best thing that ever happened because he was able to create his own identity, and likewise me. Because like we like most persons, they don't know we're twins because we are always separated, right? When they found out we're twins, they're like, "Whoa, you guys are twins?" And we're like, "Yeah," but we don't talk about it like that. Unless it comes up, we'll talk about it. So that separation in high schools like serve us. And it's when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, whoa, it really did actually like shift my entire trajectory of our life. Because I'm thinking, if we're in the same school, same class, we probably wouldn't, we wouldn't exchange, we would be talking about certain stuff like this. We'd be probably just talk about just regular life stuff. We'll be talking about like schoolwork and those stuff. So that really played like a huge number. But to go back somewhere, I remember we're talking about we fighting. I remember in primary school or elementary school, we were fighting. And away from home, we were fighting. And I remember I pushed him, right? And we're fighting for a guava. It's a fruit in Jamaica, a small fruit. and I pushed him. When I pushed him, there's these like steel on fence, and it literally bore through his hand right here,
Oh wow.
and came up right through here. And his
Oh
response,
wow.
yeah, and his response was, I didn't know, I was aware it happened, and he was like, Biggie, look, because I'm the oldest one, so I'm Biggie is little. So it was like, Biggie, look at this man in the party, of course, right? And I was like, I was reacted. I went and pulled his hand literally off the spike. And that was the last time I remember we fighting. That was the last time we fight. Because that was like, I was like, yo, sure, I could have killed him. But it wasn't like we're planning we were going to fight. We were just reacting, and I pushed him. And he just, when it was just stuck. And he couldn't move.
Wow.
They couldn't move. Yeah. So
But
that was the last time I remember we actually fighting.
how old were y'all at that point? Was that
That
like
was, I think it was like what? 10. We were 10 years
okay?
old.
And so at that point, were y'all going to separate schools yet, or y'all still at the same school?
Same school. We're going to the same school. Yeah.
So I think that definitely, there's that, and then there's also the idea that I guess in the next year or so, like y'all are going to take this test, right? And then you're going
Yeah.
to be sent to separate schools, and and you think about growing up, like your teenage years are where you find yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a twin going to the same school with your brother, same classes, same friends, and your identity is attached to someone else, you don't get to grow. But because they separate, like I have a daughter, and this will be the only child that I have. But like I've
Yeah.
never thought about if I had twins, the best thing I could do for them is in those crucial years, even though they're not going to like it, but they can always come back home and depend on each other, right? I need to separate them so that they can grow independently. I've never thought of that in my entire life.
Yeah.
And that it's almost serendipitous, huh?
Yeah. And it's a huge benefit because, like, going back to what I say, right? We had different friends, right? You had these friends, I had my friends. We had total different identities, but we come together and it just worked. And it's so weird, like in school, because we went to different schools, at certain times we will switch schools. I will go to his school, he'll go to my school.
Like you mean though, like trickaroo, like switch off?
Yep, because we're twins. So I'll go his school, he goes my school.
Did y'all get caught?
We got caught one time. But what happened, like, from his school, there's a teacher who knew both of us at his school. So, it was at my school. The teacher both of us at my school. So, it was in the classroom, and she came. Teacher was like, Orlando, what are you doing here? Where's Omanzo? And the entire class had no idea what we were talking about because they didn't know that actually she knows what's going on. But she
Right.
knew us because she knows actually, like, from the community that we're twins. So she's always looking out to see what we're gonna do. Yeah. So she didn't make any kind of alarm. She was like, it's fun, it's okay. Because she doesn't know, okay, cool, we're gonna basically do our work, but we're young and we're just playing around, just being mysterious. So we just switched school, and that was it. Many times.
Okay. So you've had a pretty good experience being a twin, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell me what's your worst experience being a twin? Like is there any bad experiences at all?
But I guess because the good over everything, I guess I'm think for that bad experience. Bad experience being a twin. Apart from saying, when you're younger, like, things had to just share.
Yeah.
I think they had to share. You had no choice. So yeah, that was the only bad. Everything had to share. So the bad experience about being a twin was that everything had to share. There was no
But
way
that
around it.
benefited you. That benefits you now though, right?
Exactly. Because during those younger years, I'm learning subconsciously that sharing is good, even though I didn't like it. Right? I hated it. Become like, why can't I get into a pencil for myself? Like, literally, this is the pencil. it cuts in two. I get this side, you get this side. But everyone wants this side.
Right.
So I was fighting for this side. But it's weird, like a pencil. So we're fighting for a pencil. So that's the only bad experience I think of while being a twin. Just like everything that, when you're younger, had to be shared. There's always two person they're thinking about. So it's either they're gonna do it for both of us or none of us not gonna get it. So that's a bad experience.
Well, like now as a coach, you
Mm-hmm.
probably understand that like when you do share with people, like, the whole idea that it comes back tenfold, it
Mm-hmm.
does, right? Like that's
Yeah,
like it's a
that's,
very important thing. And
yeah.
so like, okay, so how, like, I don't want to ask how do you think you overcame it, but like how did you turn that negative feeling of sharing into this positive feeling of sharing that you feel now? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that, right?
Correct. Yeah. I think I think with time, as we got older, whatever little we had amongst ourselves, we're able to like use it. So and appreciate that. Okay, cool. There's something that he has that I don't have, but we can always exchange it. So
Right.
we do the exchanging process instead of fighting for the one thing, we exchange. So that exchange itself actually benefits us in that way where we were not seeing that okay, that's one thing. I have this, you have this, but I can give it to you, I can borrow this from you, and I use it, and then I can, and vice versa. So I think that as in with time allows us to basically understand that even though it's one, we can always share and not just be like, oh, I need this all the time.
Do you think
So
do you think it
subconsciously we're supposed to do that.
do you think it also taught you trust?
Yeah, definitely. Like
Right.
I can say I 110% just trust him. Yeah,
Well, because like once you start thinking, if everybody thought of the world as ours,
yeah,
we'd be in a lot better space, right?
yeah,
So, but you have this built-in hours. You have
yeah,
you
yeah,
have hours all the time, right? And
yep.
so, like, it built trust with him. I just when you talk, I not that I'm jealous in any way, but like, how lucky you are. Like, just so many people don't just have one person in their life they can trust, and
Yeah,
yours serendipitously with all these things built it into your life that like I mean he is like y'all are one person, and
one.
that happens with that can happen with like best friends, that can
Yeah,
happen with other people, but yours was just built into your life in this really unique way.
exactly. It's like I didn't have to say work for it. I was just born with that person. Just in the beginning, there was like a tug and war, but after the tug and war came out the way, then we're just glued as one. And yeah, it's like just like I cannot see him doing anything that's bad to me, and vice versa. Like that's like out of this world, you know. One of the scariest thing, and that's scary. People always ask me this question. They're like, "So who's gonna die first?" That's a question. Who's gonna die first? I'm like, I don't think about it. I'm like, whoever died. Then it'll be like, do you want to die first? I'm like, hell no. I want to live longer. Right? So that's the only thing, like, having someone who I've always been around from inception, from a first memory you can think of, that person's always been around, all these years and always be there in your life, and it's way more greatness than bad. So it's just really refreshing, and just have a trust with that person. You can always know that no matter what, he got you. And it's weird. He lives in Jamaica, and I'm living in
No
the
way.
States, and we talk every single day. And we talk about, I was talking about like business ideas or this or that. It's just different. Even though we're so many miles apart, we're still having that connection, just connected.
Well, and like, God bless technology, you know what I mean? Because it makes
Yeah,
it so easy, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I
so
mean,
easy.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would that it's funny that you brought that up because I was going to ask you like if he was in the U.S. or in Jamaica, and so then now that he's over, you're like he's over there. So how often do y'all see each other like in person?
In person. I would say at least three or well, not true. At least 6 times for the year because he'll come here and I'll go there. So that counts.
Does
So I
he
go,
does
I
he
see
like
him.
does he like the United States?
He does not like it here.
No way. Why not?
Doesn't. I mean, I don't even like here either, right? But it's just I happen to be here, and I just to stay here, right? So, being Jamaica, like being the climate, the weather is just
Oh
different.
yeah,
Like
it's much
just
better.
talking
Yeah,
about it, like exactly, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, fair. That's very fair. Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
I can't believe I can't even believe I can't believe I asked that question where I'm like, what this is the question that I asked. I said, why does your brother want to live in Jamaica? Oh, I
You're
don't
like,
know. It's just like an amazing weather, an amazing place. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that part.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, oh man. Do you need anything? Do you need to take a break, go to the bathroom, drink or
I good.
anything?
All I have is water, and I was like, and I'm good.
Excellent.
It's good conversation. I like it.
Well, I mean, this is just kind of like this is what I do. I mean, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, it's much easier to do a lot when I do it with friends, it's one kind of podcast.
yeah,
When I do it with the strangers, it's another kind of podcast. But, talking to people is talking to people. And
yeah,
so, this if you're a good listener, and you ask questions around those listening, you'll be fine. But most people are just shitty ass listeners. That's all that is.
yeah. Facts. I like that. They don't
Mhm.
listen. That's facts. That's
But
facts.
look, this um, everything that's inside your head. Okay,
Hmm.
if you want to understand another person, you have to understand what's inside their head, and you don't understand what's inside their head by telling them what's inside your head, right?
Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. There's no other way to say it, right? And when I got out of my own way
Yeah,
and started being a better listener, my life changed tremendously. You know what I mean?
yeah,
In my personal opinion, it's what elevated me, my coaching to another level. Like I
yeah,
was helping people, but I couldn't help people that really needed help. But once I elevated myself, now it's like, oh, now I can help pick this next person up. You know what I mean? Like, in my
yeah,
opinion, it's our responsibility as human beings to pick up everyone else. If you have elevated yourself, you should be picking up other people. And as a coach, that's what you're doing, right? You're going like, hey,
great.
how can I help you get up? What do you need from
Yeah,
me to get up? You know what I mean?
yeah. It's facts. It's facts. I just say with coaching, like coaching, and I share the same sentiments with you. I'm always trying to help people, right? But when I started coaching and I understand the concept of really, just listen, not giving advice, just really listen, be curious, like everything shifted. Like that advice monster that was always ready to just give advice, it just calms down and I listen and I be curious. And then at that point in time, I'm able to actually help the person. I meet the person where they are. I'm not able to not be judgmental. I'm not able to actually understand the person where they are. And when they're ready to be lifted up, then I can lift them up. Before, I was trying to carry everybody on my back. And that could not work because they didn't
No.
want to be on the back. They don't
Well,
want to.
you don't want them on your back.
Either.
They shouldn't want to be on your back. They
Yeah.
they should want to do it themselves. Like I was just thinking about this. People always go like, they go, why would somebody like get a coach, right? Do you know what my new answer is? Is because my new answer is people would get a coach because most of y'all are horrible listeners, and like someone has to pay me to listen because y'all can't be good enough listeners. Y'all can't be good enough listeners, so somebody has to pay me to be a good listener, right? You know what I'm saying?
I love that. That's good. And
I
it's
mean,
facts.
but how sad is that? How sad is that? Is that the gift that you can give to someone else is just being a good listener. That's
Yeah,
that you could like you no one like think of how like valuable and rare that is. And
trust me.
you have the anybody that's listening to this has the ability to do it, right? But like you just won't get out of your own way. And that's it. You know what I mean?
That's really, it's so interesting. I remember when I was doing a practice session, while I was doing a course, I was there listening to a client. And in my mind, I was like, I'm getting paid to just sit and listen. That was a haha moment for me. But then I had to like come back and be present. I was like, whoa. And it's true what it said. It's like people are not listening anymore. They don't listen. That's why they have to actually pay someone else to listen. Because even when we have friends, right? And we're talking to our friends about certain stuff, they're there, yeah, they're there, but they're just ready to just put their own advice or tell you what they think is best, but not just being present and allow you to really share what you want to share. So it's interesting way to put it, and it's so true. It's on point. People just do not listen. They are shit listeners. That's it. They don't listen. So they're gonna pay
Okay.
someone else to
Oh, go
listen.
ahead. Okay. Now I want you to be I'll be honest and you be honest. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. First I'm gonna say, like, how do you feel about journaling? Okay. And
Hmm.
I know what you're supposed to say about journaling, but I want
Yeah.
to know how you really feel about journaling. And this is how I feel about journaling. It's like
Yeah.
journaling can be anything. It can be voice messages to yourself. It can be videos to yourself. It can be writing in a book. It can be writing in your phone. Like anything to get reflection and feedback on yourself, however you do that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Amanzo? What do you do? Do you write in a journal? Do you journal or what do you do?
All right. It's interesting when you break down journaling because at first I want to say I don't know journaling. I've never done it before. But when you say, okay, good, journaling is, you send voice notes, you doing videos, you doing this stuff. I think I subconsciously does it, or do it, I should say. But it's not something I intentionally practice to do. I've never like say, okay, I'm gonna go journal this right now. I've never done it. And to each his own, right? For some persons, it works for them. I've never really tried it. Same with meditation. I've never tried meditation, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, right. So again, to each his own, right? So I'm able to like say before meet people where they are. So for me, mm, I cannot say, and I'm giving an honest answer, as I say, right? For me, I've never done it, so I cannot really say it works or it doesn't work. That's
Well,
my answer.
but also to your point, um, that I think if you can find ways to have reflection,
Yeah,
essentially journaling is reflection. It also brings information to the table that maybe you wouldn't thought of, but maybe you curate in a different way through your mind, right?
you're right. This is how I reflect. This is how I reflect. My reflections is
Yeah.
is crazy. My reflection is when I'm driving. I don't listen to music. The most I listen to some audios. So if it's quiet and I'm driving, then I'm reflecting. I'm going through the day. Second time I reflect, when I'm in the shower. At that point in time, I don't think what I'm doing. So my mind is always going through what needs to get done, what blockage I'm having. So I reflect during those times. So my mind is doing the self-reflection and not me physically like writing it out. Thinking about writing it out, it seems weird to me, if that makes sense. But because I subconsciously, because I don't know, create this reflective kind of thing when I shower and when I drive, it just works. So I guess I don't see the need for me to say send a voice note to myself. And something I do, if say I comes to mind that I want to remember, I send a voice note. Yeah, I'll do that. But in terms of reflecting on it, no, I've never done it for that perspective. The most I reflect is when I'm driving, I'm taking a shower. So I guess every day I reflect.
Well, but so you're doing something that I don't even know, maybe, and I could ask my friend Hannah. She's a therapist that confirms all my stuff. But like when you get in a car, no music,
Yeah,
you're essentially you're going into a trance. You're getting into kind of like a meditative state, right? So when you're in the
yeah,
car and you're driving for distances and like you have no music on and you just kind of like you're on autopilot like that,
yep,
you're in trance, right? And
yeah,
so, and you're kind of being in a meditative state. So you are doing forms of meditation, depending on how often
patient.
you drive, you are doing forms of meditation. You know what I mean? And I think it's
Yeah,
important to recognize that, just to go like, oh, I'm going to get in my car and not turn on the radio today and just sit with myself for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Or, and
yeah,
you get stuck in traffic, just turn the radio off and just sit there,
yeah.
make the most of your time. Right.
Facts. It's very powerful. You said this, and I guess sometimes when we hear certain words, we look at what the action is and not what the result is.
Right.
So I'm able to meditate, bro. If I'm meditating, becoming the result of meditation by me being there in the car. I'm in trance, I'm driving, but I'm really meditating. I'm not probably doing the regular way when I cross the legs and I close the eyes and I breathe. I'm not doing that, but I'm still doing it because my mind is in that state of mind where I'm reflecting about certain stuff. So it's powerful. Or we're talking about this, and my mind shift to like, whoa, I do meditate.
Well, and probably when I mean, probably on some level, when I brought that to like your awareness, right?
Yeah,
Your whole mind shifted to that feeling, that moment and that feeling a little bit, right? Of
yeah,
like what is it like to feel like to be in the car in that state, right? And so that brings a
yeah.
level of calmness. And that is like you're basically you're working out your mind muscle. And I don't
Yeah.
think people understand how important it is. So it's like, you you have found yours accidentally, you know what I mean? But I mean, but you got to explore your life to find them accidentally also, like you have
Yeah,
to sit with yourself to find these things, or talk
yeah.
about stuff like this. Anyway, I
Yeah.
had a thought. Hey, I had a thought. Do you think that essentially you journal with your brother? Like the conversations y'all have is journaling?
I was, it's like, you're on point. I was gonna go right there. It's on point because this is it, right? Whenever I have any like ideas I want to work on, I'll call him, right? When I have any hard moments, I'll call him. For example, yesterday, I called him yesterday. Because this idea came to mind, an idea, reflecting. I was reflecting, and I was like, my mother, she was in business, but I wasn't aware that she was doing business because I didn't. Her business was defined as traditional business. So when it came to me, I called him, and I was like, are you aware that Messiah? Because my mother name is Messiah. Are you aware that Messiah actually was in business? And he was like, yeah, she was. He didn't know. And I'm like, yes, I know, but it was in my mind. So it was like, all right, I have to run now. Let me call her tomorrow. Let me call her later. He didn't call me later. So just now this morning, I called him, and we're going through that conversation, the same journaling as you say, but in a different context. Not
Yeah.
the regular like pen, paper, writing out or voice note. So he does, I guess you would say, he's my canvas, is my notebook where I can write things on and bounce back to me and vice versa. So like just talking to you, there's so many benefits that I was unaware of.
Right.
That being a twin.
Right. Well, I was just thinking, well, like when I write in my notebook, I just
Yeah.
write stuff down. My notebook doesn't go, that's a
Talk
stupid
back to you.
idea. Yeah, yeah.
Just talk back to you.
My notebook doesn't go, you shouldn't do that. Everything in my notebook
Let me
looks
give
like
it.
a good idea.
So I'll share a story to show that the journal does talk back to you, right? I imagine that
Right.
talk back to me, right? And if it's a go ahead, it can also help you again to stop what you're doing before it gets too crazy. So I have I have a talk back journal, and vice versa. Like certain things it comes to me about, and I'll be like, all right, yeah, get into that. Then I'll be like, nah, try it this way. Let's tweak it to this way. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that's how it works. But whoa, I have a journal. I didn't know.
Well, I was also thinking that, like, in my world, I mean, really in everybody's world, it's their own responsibility to check their ego, right?
Yeah,
But in this weird way, y'all were forced to check each other's ego. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so not only do you have an internal check that you listen to, but you have an external check that does have a lot of value based on y'all's relationship. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And people are always looking for that external check and not liking it when it comes because they, like you should be doing it yourself. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But like
Hmm.
yours is, I mean, that is just so different. These are just, I mean, to your point, like these are all,
Yeah,
I never thought of these really things about a twin before, but I think a lot of it is the dynamics of your entire family. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I think your experience in two big ways, one being part of a big family and two going to separate schools when y'all were like in, middle school or when y'all got
good.
to high
Yeah,
school or whatever, that changed the whole trajectory because two twins in any other circumstance, I mean, like I was thinking even two twins in the United States, like they wouldn't have to share, they wouldn't make them share stuff. They would get two of everything
I think.
or they would
Yep.
get three of everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're
You know what I
right. So the
mean?
dynamics of the family, yeah. So you're right. The dynamics of the family being actually from that poor background, like really, really poor, then we had to like share. We had no choice. So and it's very important. You saying that I just finished reading this book called Outliers. I don't know if you've heard it before, and it's so powerful where we always hear these success stories, and we hear hard work gives you results. But in his book, he was able to give you a different perspective of all these different successful people that we know, like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these different persons, how they actually get to where they are is just because of where they were born and the experiences that they gone through that allow them to build these experiences. So when opportunity came, they could take it. So going back to saying, even in my life, right? If I wasn't born in that situation, born a twin, right? So all those different things, I wouldn't be the person I'd be where I'm right now. And in the last moment will change in coaching, I will be able to do it as well because I would have those experiences not being born in that situation with that family dynamics. Make sense? So no, like talking to you, it's just making so much more sense.
Well, but okay, everyone is born into what they're born into.
Yeah,
Okay. And then from that point, at a certain time, everyone has choices, right? Of how they want to
yeah,
view and see and what they want to do. And you could have easily chose the opposite of all the views and all the choices that you made, but
yeah,
you chose these that would elevate you and use these experiences to make you better. And I think as a coach, the biggest piece is trying to bring awareness to people of that, like, that your past doesn't have to define your future,
facts.
but you have to do that. I can't do it for you. I can help you figure out what you need and what the tools are and what works best for you. We can co-create that together, a plan for you. I can coach you up, but you at the end of the day, you are the player. You have to execute the play. I'm only the coach.
Coach, yeah, that's facts.
You know.
It's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned the choice because I have a book that I wrote. It's called
Oh,
The Choice.
nice.
Yeah,
Well, you,
it's
you
called The
didn't
Choice.
you didn't bring this up sooner.
No, I mean
Okay.
like we're talking, so it's like it
Yeah.
comes up, right? So The Choice is a separate book, and it's really helping people to make the right choices for whatever dreams or the goals they want to achieve. Because I just said, and it's true, everything in life is choices. Where we are today are based on choices we have made, whether consciously or unconsciously. That's why we're here at this point in time. I could choose to not take this call. I could choose to not be enrolled in the coaching school. I would have not crossed paths with you. But by making this choice, I will keep making this choice. We're creating the reality that we want to create. So the book is really giving you scenarios of different perspectives and choices to achieve what they want to achieve in life. And then if you are aware that your choices, whether, say, for example, for your health, or for a relationship, or for your business, all those small choices, they will compound and one day lead to a result. And the thing is, if we think that we're not making a choice, we're indirectly making a choice either way. There's always a crossroad. There's always a crossroad. Where are we going? And all those crossroad choices ultimately leads to where you want to go. So if you're aware about that, you can intentionally start making those choices intentionally to go where you want to go.
Well, look, you're absolutely right. You know, not making a choice is a choice, right? It's a choice to stand still, okay? And that will result in no results, right? But
Which the result?
making but making any choice
Yeah,
will end up in a result. And then making better choices and more intentional choices and more aware choices will end up in better results. But you
yep,
have to make choices. You have to start the
yep,
process of making a choice. And oh, by the way, if you make a choice and you get rejected, that's not because of your choice. That's just general rejection, right? It's your
exactly.
choice didn't generate that rejection. You made a choice to do something. So say you reach out to a friend and they don't respond. And you take that like my choice made this happen. No, you chose to reach out because you wanted to, and they chose to not respond for whatever reason. But that
Yeah,
doesn't mean you made a bad choice, and that means you shouldn't choose that again. And it doesn't mean you should say even give up on your friend. Maybe you haven't heard from them. Things like that, right? But like we get too much about like I have that kind of control, and the only control you have is to make good choices for you.
that's it. That's
I'm
really it.
assuming that's what the book's about too, right?
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
then even going back to an example you gave about a friend, you made a choice to reach out to your friend. Your friend rejected you. No, you have a choice. What you
Yeah.
gonna do? You have a choice. So again, you can choose to take it personal, right?
Right.
Or you can choose to not take it personal. Either way, you're still making choice. So entire life is a series of choice we're gonna keep on make, literally, until we leave this place. We keep making
Well,
choices.
choosing to hold on to it or let go, both choices, and will both take you in a direction, right? But if I feel like I could ask anybody and I go, okay, there's two streets you're gonna take. There is
Yeah,
let go street and hold on to street.
yeah,
Which just in general, what street would you rather go on? You probably want to go on let go street. Like
exactly.
you don't even know what's on let go. It could be the worst street in the world,
But
but
letting
like
go.
but it's you're letting go, right? You feel like, okay, this is something good. And so, I think what happens is, sometimes when like when you said earlier, not making a choice is a choice. But like even, choosing to just go ahead and see something or view it in a negative way, or to hold on to something and be stagnant and not making a directional choice or positive choice to move is, you know, it's just if you could just switch that one thought process, it'd make a
Yeah,
huge difference.
yeah, that's it. That's really just having awareness that everything at every point in time, and sometimes it can be so insignificant. Like for example, so insignificant, you do the laundry. You can choose to just get up and just go fold those clothes. It's so simple. It's so simple. Or I'd be like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling tired. Let it stay. That choice you make means tomorrow or sometime in the future, you have to go back and fold it. And then it's taking you away from something basically that probably you want to do. So it's like we're always bombarded with those choices, you know, whether we're doing it consciously or unconsciously, we're always bombarded by those choices. So when you're fully aware of it, then you can have intentions and make those intentions clear. So you can, you know, make those choices that will benefit you. And sometimes, as you say, you can make these choices, and in the beginning, initial stage, it might derail you. But guess what? You still have a choice to make. Either way.
Well, it can feel really easy to have like a string of bad luck, like you're making bad choices.
Yeah.
But the fact that you made a choice pushed you in a direction, and that's always good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even though it doesn't feel good right then, a lot of times if you if you reflect, you go, oh, you know, that choice didn't feel very comfortable at that moment, but that made this way better thing that happened in the future. You know what I mean? And like that,
Mindset.
here, great example. The choices and the things that happened between you and your brother as a kid turned out to be really great. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you know, and it's probably, you know, it's like, you know, in my opinion, it's probably what propelled you to be a coach. You know what I mean? Like that's part of what really got you to that point that, you know, you had you had a coach. You had a coach your whole
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah,
You're lucky.
yeah. And it's interesting you saying that, like, I can really map my life, and I can tell you, like, without a doubt, that is me and my brother that carried me to this part where I've been a coach. And I'll give a quick synopsis. I remember in 2014, he got enrolled in this network marketing company. They were doing travel. And but we growing up, high growing up, right? When we hear network marketing, like Amway or Herbalife, we're like, nope, Ponzi scheme, it doesn't work. Run away from these things. So he got enrolled in it. And like me being his journal, he called me, he's like, Biggie, we're gonna be rich. We're gonna take over the world. And I was like, it was excited. But I was like, this excitement is weird. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I'm gonna send you a video to watch. And then used to happen. He sent the video to me. On the video, all I saw was like people traveling and making money. And in my mind, my my unlearned mind, I was like, scam, not real, fake. Me now being a journal, right? Wasn't qualified. I said to him, this is a scam. Go back for a refund. He trusting his journal, called the person who enrolled him, and said, my journal, which is my brother, says this is a scam. I want my money. Luckily, that person responded in a different way. She said, the internet is like a bathroom wall. Anybody can write anything on the internet. So he sent a voice note to me, and I listened to the voice note, and I was like, okay, she's right, but I'm not doing it. I'll help you, but I'm not doing it. Long story short, they were having a demonstration with the same opportunity in Jamaica, and he told me to actually invite a person to go there. So I invited some of my friends to go to the presentation. They did the presentation, and everyone who invited liked it and wanted to sign up. Out of fear of losing, I signed up so I could earn from these people, right? Out of fear of losing. So I signed up. It was okay then. After signing up, at that point in time, I was able to travel. He couldn't travel. And he was like, I wanted to actually go on this trip. So he was on my journal now. I need to go on this trip so you can actually see how it works. I was like, I just spent money to sign up, and I don't always want to go there. But luckily, he in the journal pushed me to take that trip. And that trip that he pushed me to go on changed my entire life, because that's when I was fully introduced to personal development. And that personal development that I got from being a part of this company, I shift everything. And it goes back to, again, he was the one who put it out there. When I did my vision board, had success coach before I know what success coach even is. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So all those things was because of that person, that my journal, okay, so my journal was actually able to like, okay, do this. So I'm sure the steward say it's so right. If I wasn't actually, he was the only one who could have me signed up. No one else could come to me and tell me that do this, because I didn't trust anyone to tell me that this would work.
Except for him.
So except for him. So, it's just so true. He's the one with that story I've told you that brought me to life coach, literally. And this was like 2014. So look at how many things happened during that time. But
Well,
it's still, yeah.
You have to do things to figure out what you want to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can think you want to be a lawyer, but then when you see all the things you have to do to be a lawyer, you might be like, I don't know if I want to be a lawyer. You know what I mean? And you don't know unless you explore those ideas. So like it's so important to like if you have ideas about things you want to do in your life, just in general, no matter if you're like 13 years old or like 43 years old, it's like we'll start explore. The internet's a great place to find information. YouTube is incredible. Like just go
Yeah.
explore the ideas about what that is, and maybe you can find a passion that you actually, and you can do that for a job. Like that's the lucky part that we get to do, is
Yeah.
something we're very passionate about, that we feel like we're very good at. We also get to do it for a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts. That's so true.
This final segment is brought to you by HeyJustBe.com. I believe that achieving balance in the mental, physical, and metaphysical aspects of your purpose through learning, serving, and creating can transform your life into one you truly enjoy living. Want to learn more? Visit www.heyjustbe.com.
How I usually wrap this thing up, as I ask people, what do you do to just be? That's my whole thing, right? Just be the best version of yourself so you can be good for everybody else. And we've already talked about, your built-in journal that you have. And, that's invaluable. You know what I mean? So like you are journaling, you are reflecting, right? You a big exercise guy? You do any exercising?
Nah, that doesn't work for me.
Yoga? Nothing?
Nah. All I do is just watch what I eat. I'm a diet person. I hate working out. It pains me. So I choose to diet and forget about
But I think that's also kind of great, right? It's like,
yeah,
again, go into choices. We talked about like choices. It's like if you're going to choose not to exercise, you should probably choose to eat well.
exactly. That's what
You
I
know what I
do.
mean?
Yeah,
Do you read? Do you do any reading?
yeah. I read and every day I read at least 10 page of a book. So right now I'm reading, where's the book? Where did I put it? Right now I'm reading, actually, give me a second. I'll find it.
Yeah.
So
Hey, do you have a copy of your book too?
yeah.
Okay,
I got you.
grab that.
I got you. And then this is the choice, step into the light.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
can you find it on Amazon? Is that on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Once you type in the choice, step into the light, it's on Amazon, it's on Kindle, and it's also audio as well. So
Okay.
you can find
Wait,
the version
it's on audiobook?
of the book, yeah.
Who reads it?
Unfortunately, I was gonna read it, but then I was like, I'm the pro to do it. So I'm a
Well,
pro
I'm just like
professional.
when I listen to an
Yeah,
audiobook written by a person, a lot of I want them to read it a lot of times. You know what I mean?
I got you. I think probably for this year, I'm gonna after next year, I'm gonna redo it and use my audio for it. Yeah,
I think
because
so. Yeah.
I can always do it. Yeah.
Have you that I don't want to mean this in a rude way. Have you always spoke English? Is English something you've always spoke, or is English new for you?
It's crazy. As Jamaicans, right? We speak broken English.
Right.
It's weird. Like we are able to read English perfectly, write English perfectly, but when we're communicating like excited, we go to our native tongue. And because I've been around Jamaicans all my life, sometimes I'm in speaking Jamaican for the most part and not aware I'm not speaking Jamaican. Give an example. last night I was telling a friend that saying something about harm, but I used the word hand. I was like, what's that on a hand? In Jamaica, right? Your hand is your entire arm,
Oh,
right? But so I was like, what's on your hand? And she was like, nothing. I'm like, no, what's on your hand? Because I was referring to her arm. She's like, you mean arm? Same thing with legs. We say foot. But right? So there's certain words, many words that kind of like cross over. So we fully understand English, fully understand it, but we communicate it differently. So like you're talking to me, I know exactly what you're saying, right? But when I'm saying it back to you, certain words probably might like take a while to kind of adjust. Yeah.
look, my feet are big enough. I don't need it to include the rest of my leg. You know what I mean? I just need it to be just my feet. They're that big. Okay, hey, before I let you out of here, is there something is there something from from Jamaica that you do or that like also helps with to like make you the best version of yourself, like a meal or like something that people do there or something like that, something unique to Jamaica?
Ah, there's so many things unique to Jamaica, so many things. Um,
What do people in Jamaica do other than just live in Jamaica? What do people in Jamaica do to relax? Like, what do they do to decompress and is there anything special they do there?
yeah, there's this thing called domino. I cannot play. Sorry, I don't know how to play dominoes. I can match. So they play domino most of the time. They go to the beach, go to the rivers, just relax. Just have family time, just being around talking to the family. That's relaxing. Um, that's yeah. Relaxing. Go to the parties. They go to parties. They dance. Dance or reggae. Yeah, and just chill, just a vibe. Some people
Okay,
smoke. I don't smoke. Some people smoke. I don't smoke. I'm a Jamaican. I do not smoke. Some people smoke to just chill. I do not smoke, and I'm a Jamaican. So people,
it's not a have to
yeah.
thing, right? You don't have to smoke to be Jamaican.
But it's weird when I tell people that I'm Jamaican and I don't smoke. They're like, "What do you mean you don't smoke?" And I'm like, "I don't." They're like, "What do you mean? You're Jamaican?" Yeah. I'm like, "I saw Jamaican, right? But I don't smoke."
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's so funny is like I never would have thought to even ask you whether you do or not. It feels like
Yeah.
such a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's just like I never would have thought to. I mean, like it makes sense when you're saying it, but like that question was not on my radar at all. You know?
Yeah, yeah. But no, like some people like they do that like the chill and it's mellow and to each his own. But for me, like what I do Jamaican wise, um, the food, the food. I love jerk chicken. I love Jamaican food. So like
Yeah.
stewed chicken. I love it. The food works. Wherever I go, I have to have the food. If I can't get Jamaican food, uh, I don't know. I'm a stickler for our food.
Well, like I'm big into music, and so I have a whole playlist of music that my mom would play when I was a kid, like, rock
Yeah,
songs and country songs and, just different kinds of music.
yeah,
And when I'm like, if I'm in a space where I need to kind of like decompress, a lot of times I'll put that list on and it
mhm,
feels quote unquote like home, you know what I mean? And those
yeah,
feelings of reconnecting with home, like having food and stuff like that, sometimes those probably feel, we can already establish that we use food as a comfort, but like a
yeah,
different type of comfort of like just the feeling of home, especially like if say you're homesick or something like that, and
yeah,
being aware that you need that.
yeah. I think because like living in South Florida, right, it's a very huge Jamaican community, and because I also do event photography as well, for the most part, I'm around Jamaicans every at least 6 times for the week. I'm around Jamaicans because I'm always at events with them. So for the most part, I'm hearing the music at parties. I'm talking to them, not them,
Mhm.
right? Talking to them. So it's like I don't feel like I'm not home. But
Oh yeah.
When I'm in Jamaica, I want to stay there. But like for the most part, because we're so close and being in so further, it feels like you're just a little bit away from home. But being around the music and talking to people every single day, you know, it just feels homely. And you can get the food same way in Jamaica here as well. So it doesn't feel like I'm homesick or like I'm missing out, except though the beaches, you know,
Yeah.
cannot compare. The beaches, you
No.
cannot compare. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you doing this so much. And man, you're welcome back anytime that you want to come on. We'll have you back for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Scottie. I appreciate it. It was a great one. I like it.
Awesome, man. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers.